He wore a perfectly tailored black suit. His posture was straight, disciplined, and confident. Everything about him suggested control and authority. Yet his expression was cold and distant. Daniel glanced down at his watch. शाम के 7:08. She's late, he muttered quietly. He leaned back in his chair and tapped his finger impatiently against the table. Blind dates were not his idea of a productive evening. His assistant had insisted for weeks that he needed a social life. You work 16 hours a day, she had told him. You need to meet people. Daniel disagreed. People complicated things. Business didn't. In business, numbers made sense. Contracts made sense. Success was measurable. Emotions were not. Still, after months of persuasion, he had agreed to this one blind date arranged by a professional matchmaking service. He regretted it already. The waiter approached politely. Would you like to order while you wait, sir? Daniel shook his head. Just coffee. Yes, sir. As the waiter walked away, Daniel opened his phone and scrolled through emails. A major deal in California required his attention, and several executives were waiting for his approval. This is what I should be doing, he thought. Not sitting in a restaurant waiting for a stranger. Another minute passed, then another. शाम के 7:12. Daniel sighed and reached for his coat. I'm leaving in 3 minutes, he murmured to himself. Just as he stood halfway from his chair, the restaurant door suddenly opened. A burst of cold wind rushed inside along with a young woman who looked slightly out of breath. She quickly closed the door behind her and brushed snowflakes from her hair. Her coat was simple and worn, nothing like the expensive winter jackets worn by other guests. For a moment she stood near the entrance, nervously scanning the room. Her eyes stopped when she saw Daniel sitting alone. She hesitated. Then slowly, she began walking toward him. Daniel noticed immediately. His first reaction was confusion. She didn't look like someone who belonged in a luxury restaurant. Her dress was neat but clearly inexpensive. Her shoes showed signs of wear. Her cheeks were slightly red from the cold. When she reached the table, she spoke softly. Mr. Carter. Daniel looked up. Yes, I'm Emma, she said nervously. I'm really sorry I'm late. Daniel studied her carefully. This was not what he expected. Most women who agreed to meet him knew exactly who he was. They usually arrived dressed perfectly, confident and polished. Emma looked ordinary, honest, and very nervous. You are Emma? He asked. She nodded. Yes, my friend signed me up for the dating service. I almost didn't come. Daniel slowly sat back down. To be honest, he said bluntly, this isn't really my kind of evening. Emma lowered her eyes slightly but nodded with understanding. I figured, she said quietly. I almost turned around outside. For a moment, an awkward silence filled the table. The waiter returned. Are you ready to order? Daniel answered quickly. Just coffee. Emma hesitated. Just water for me, please. The waiter nodded and left. Daniel noticed something strange. Most women he met ordered expensive meals without hesitation. Emma didn't even look at the menu. You're not hungry? Daniel asked. She smiled politely. I already ate. But at that exact moment, her stomach made a small, unmistakable sound. Emma froze. Her face turned red with embarrassment. Sorry, she whispered. Daniel stared at the table for a second. Something about that moment felt unexpectedly real. For years he had trained himself to ignore small human details like that. In the world of billion-dollar deals, things like hunger or embarrassment rarely mattered. But tonight, he noticed. And strangely, he cared. Without thinking, he raised his hand to call the waiter. Bring 2 dinners, he said. Emma looked shocked. Oh no, you don't have to do that. It's fine, Daniel replied calmly. I'm ordering anyway. She hesitated before finally nodding. Thank you. For the first time that evening, she smiled. It wasn't a glamorous smile. But it was genuine. Daniel felt something strange in his chest, like a tiny crack forming in the invisible wall he had built around himself. When the food arrived, Emma looked at it as if she hadn't seen a meal like that in a long time. But she tried to eat slowly and politely. Daniel noticed again. You don't come to places like this often, he said. She laughed softly. Never. Then why come tonight? Emma thought for a moment before answering. My friend said sometimes life changes when you try something unexpected. Daniel raised an eyebrow. And did it? Emma shrugged. I don't know yet. They began talking. At first the conversation was simple. Where she worked, where she grew up, what her daily life looked like. Emma explained she worked 2 jobs. Cleaning offices early in the morning. Serving coffee in a small cafe at night. 2 jobs. Daniel asked. My mother is sick, she said quietly. Medical bills. Daniel nodded slowly. He had spent millions on corporate dinners and luxury conferences. Yet here was someone struggling just to pay hospital bills. The contrast bothered him more than he expected. Then Emma suddenly asked something unusual. Can I ask you a question? Daniel nodded. Are you happy, Mr. Carter? Daniel froze. No one had asked him that question in years. Executives asked about profits. Investors asked about growth. Journalists asked about strategy. But happiness, that word didn't exist in boardrooms. Daniel opened his mouth to answer. But nothing came out. For the first time in a long time, Daniel Carter, the powerful CEO who always had an answer, didn't know what to say. 2 weeks, yet Daniel still found himself thinking about her unexpected question. Are you happy, Mr. Carter? The words echoed in his mind during board meetings. They followed him into elevators and long car rides. Even late at night, when the city lights glowed outside his penthouse window, the question returned. Daniel had built his life on habits. Wake up at 5 a.m. Exercise, review emails, meet investors, analyze profits, sleep, repeat. Those habits had turned him into one of the most respected souls in the country. But Emma's question had quietly exposed something uncomfortable. His habits had built success. But they had not built happiness. One snowy morning, Daniel woke earlier than usual. Subah ke 5 baje. The sky outside was still dark. Normally, he would go straight to the gym before heading to the office tower where hundreds of employees waited for his decisions. But today, he sat on the edge of his bed thinking. Then he did something strange. Instead of putting on his business suit, he grabbed a simple coat and left his apartment. 30 minutes later, his black car stopped in front of a small neighborhood cafe. The sign above the door flickered slightly in the cold wind. Daniel stepped out and walked inside. The cafe was warm but simple. The smell of fresh coffee filled the air. A few early customers sat quietly reading newspapers. Behind the counter, wiped on a table with a cloth, was Emma. She looked up. At first she didn't notice him. Then her eyes widened in surprise. Mr. Carter. Daniel gave a small nod. Good morning. Emma blinked twice, clearly confused. What are you doing here? Daniel glanced around the modest cafe. I came for coffee. Emma laughed softly. Well, that's what we sell here. He sat at a small table near the window. Emma brought him a cup of coffee a minute later. This place is very different from that restaurant, she said. Daniel looked around again. The furniture was old but clean. The walls held simple paintings from local artists. There was nothing luxurious about the place. And strangely, it felt comfortable. I like it, Daniel said. Emma smiled but looked puzzled. Don't you have a huge office somewhere downtown? I do. And important meetings. Many. She crossed her arms playfully. So why are you here? Daniel took a slow sip of coffee before answering. I wanted to see you. Emma looked genuinely surprised. Why? Daniel thought for a moment. He was used to negotiating billion-dollar deals, but explaining emotions felt much harder. You asked me something the other night, he finally said. Emma tilted her head. What? About happiness. Oh, she said quietly. Daniel stared into his coffee cup. No one has asked me that in a long time. Emma leaned against the counter. Well, are you? Daniel didn't answer immediately. Instead, he asked his own question. Why did you ask me that? Emma shrugged. You looked lonely. Daniel almost laughed. Lonely. He controlled a company with billions. Thousands of employees worked under his leadership. His name appeared in magazines and business news every week. Yet somehow, this young woman working 2 jobs had seen something everyone else ignored. I suppose I was, he admitted quietly. Emma didn't say anything for a moment. Then she smiled gently. You can come here anytime, you know. Coffee is cheap. Daniel nodded. I might. And he did. The next morning, Daniel returned again. And the morning after that. Soon it became something new in his life. A habit. Every morning before going to the office, he stopped at the cafe for 10 minutes. Sometimes they talked about small things, weather, customers, funny stories from Emma's work. Sometimes they talked about bigger things, dreams, struggles, family. Emma never treated him like a powerful CEO. To her, he was just Daniel. And slowly, something inside him began to change. One morning about a month later, Daniel noticed something different. Emma looked worried. She moved slower than usual, and her smile seemed forced. What's wrong? Daniel asked. Emma hesitated. It's nothing. Daniel waited. Finally she sighed. My mom's surgery is next week, she said quietly. And the hospital says we still owe a lot of money. She tried to smile. But we'll figure it out. Daniel didn't reply. That evening, sitting alone in his penthouse office, he stared at the city skyline. Cars moved like tiny lights far below. He thought about habits again. For years, his habits had been about winning, closing deals, growing profits, beating competitors. But another memory slowly returned to him. His mother's voice when he was a boy. Kindness is a habit too, Daniel. If you practice it every day, it becomes part of who you are. He had forgotten that lesson while building his empire. But maybe it wasn't too late to remember. The next morning Daniel arrived at the cafe as usual. Emma greeted him with a tired smile. Good morning. Morning, Daniel replied. He placed a small envelope on the table. What's this? Emma asked. Open it. She slowly opened the envelope. Inside was a hospital document. Her hands began to shake. At the bottom of the page were two words stamped in bold letters. Paid in full. Emma looked up, her eyes wide with disbelief. You paid the hospital bill. Daniel nodded calmly. Yes. Tears instantly filled her eyes. But why? She whispered. Daniel looked out the cafe window at the busy street. Then he answered quietly. Because kindness is a habit, he said. My mother taught me that a long time ago. Emma suddenly hugged him tightly, unable to stop crying. For the first time in years, Daniel Carter felt something stronger than pride or power. He felt warmth, not the warmth of money or success, but the warmth of knowing he had changed someone's life. And in that moment, Daniel realized something important. Success had been his habit for years. But now, kindness would become his new one.